Hi fellow traders. Well, this was supposed to be money making Monday. It turned into spare change Monday. You know, the market had us all excited with it gapping down this morning, but once it opened, it pretty much fizzled out. Any hope we had about volatility just went away. We didn't get the volume. The volume is still light. Maybe it'll come in on Wednesday. That's the unofficial kickoff for earnings. I know some of the big banks are reporting earnings today and tomorrow, but I don't trade financial stock. I don't trade the banks, so doesn't really mean anything to me. Wednesday is when it really kicks off for me. So looking for some volatility to come back in, some volume to come back in the market. Today, I thought we had a really nice opening range breakdown setup on WDC. It started working, and it actually traded just like the stocks that we see on SSR. It started to make the move, and it ran into some support in the middle of nowhere. We were able to cover some, take some profit on it, but then it turned around and went the other way, and it kept going the other way the rest of the day. Some of you guys in the community, you got LULU. That was a nice opening range breakout, and you turned around and got the trend continuation on the bounce off the VWAP right out of our playbook. Pretty much the same thing we did Friday on TWLO, except for instead of going short, you went long and you nailed it. My mindset was not for long this morning with the market gapping down, and if I'm not in the right mindset to go long, it's best that I just don't go long. It always ends bad for me. I tend not to have the patience I need to have to allow a long trade to work, and just ends up being a pretty bad day. So one little message I want to give you guys today is slow your roll. Too many people that I talk to or that send me emails, everybody's in a rush. Everybody wants to get something right now. You want instant gratification. It doesn't happen in this industry. Now, yeah, trading is very easy. It's extremely easy to make money in the market. How hard is it to click a mouse button to buy and then sell? Too easy, right? But the issue is you can't do it consistently if you don't know what you're doing. If you don't have a clue, if you're just clicking buttons, yeah, you're going to luck up and win. No problem. But if you're looking to build a career around this, you got to slow down. Got to slow your roll. You got to learn and develop a process that's going to help sustain you through the bad times. If you don't, the bad times will destroy you. So slow down, guys. We got all year to get this going. And I know you've seen over the course of the last 2 years of me taking my time. Yeah, I have losing trades. I have a lot of losing trades. But in the end, you guys see the money builds up because I manage my risk. And, I just take things one step at a time, one day at a time. So you got to slow down. You got to pace yourself. This is going to be our year. We said it, we claimed it, we called it. We're going to speak it into existence, and we're going to work it into existence. But just slow your roll. Just the second week in January. Things are about to kick up, and you want to be ready for when that happens. So just hold on. You're going to get there. All right, so come on, let's take a look at our trades for today. So our day always starts with looking at the market. We always kind of look at the SPY. I kind of glance at the daily chart just to refresh my memory. And yesterday we were talking about how we just kept topping out here. You know, right at this right around 259. We just keep topping out. And there was a chance that it would roll back. I was looking for it to test 260. That's the major level that we've been looking at. Major pivot here. Solid resistance. And it didn't test it today. Maybe we just had a little bump in the road and we're going to pull back and test it. But I am looking for it to test this before it makes any significant move down. Now, we will roll over again. How much or how far, I don't know. We may put in a lower, we may continue to put in, you know, higher lows here. And we may have a steep climb back. But I do want to see it test this level. Give it a good test before it does anything. But that's what I want. Now, whether it does it or not, it's up to the market. But who am I? But then we look at the 5-minute chart, and you can see where we had this huge gap down this morning. And I was like, this is going to be nice. You know, this is really going to be nice. And obviously it wasn't. Look at, whenever you see all of these wicks, this is just ugly price action. Very ugly price action, very whippy. Not something that we could trade very well. And, you know, if the market is trading like this, obviously a lot of the stocks are going to be trading that way as well. And it just was not a pretty day for me. Now, the small caps, and we kind of made mention of this yesterday, the S&P small caps outperformed the S&P 500 like twofold. I think they double the percentage gains. So the small caps have been actually doing a little bit, but you know what makes them go. So I tend to stay away from those. But we did have a couple of small caps that made some strong runs today. And we do have a couple of guys that like to trade those. But in terms of the mid or large cap stocks that I look at and that I like to trade, not a whole lot happening. Not a whole lot. So let's look at WDC. This was our only trade today. And this was a 5-minute opening range breakdown. And yeah, I admitted it right when it was happening. I was not really sold on taking the trade. I was kind of caught between, do I need to wait for this candle to close or should I get in? And when you have that indecision, it causes you to either miss the trade entirely or miss out on some profit. I missed out on some profit. You know, my entry should have been up here, at least 15, 20 cents earlier. But, you know, it's that paralysis by analysis deal. I did not have the confidence in the market. I didn't have the conviction that my strategy was going to work. But it did. And we did get, my first target was 36. And then there was another level around 35, 60 something. That was going to be my final target. But I was going to take some off at 36. Well, we got down here and I started to see a lot of support build in. For me, I'm watching the chart. I'm looking to see, you know, the price action, because I like to be in front of any type of momentum shift or potential momentum shift coming. So as I was talking, I told you guys exactly what I was looking at, what I was experiencing, and why I took some off here a little bit early. I took it at 36.25 versus 36 because the support that I saw building in here. Now, I did have trouble at 50 as well. And it turned out that, you know, what I saw was true, that it wasn't a fake out. And this thing got bought up pretty strong. Now, if this was a major level that somebody was looking at to dump all their shares, fine, we could get one candle. But this one got bought up pretty strong and ended up stopping me out at break even on the rest. And then you can see it just kind of traded crazy, kind of like what the market did. And so I waited, and I was looking to get some trend continuation on this, but I wasn't going to catch this rejection because we had the 9 here, we had the 5-minute opening range low, and then we had VWAP. So what I was going to do is wait for this to lose VWAP. And for it to lose VWAP, it needed to close below it. And then this candle needed to open and sell below this candle, make a new low. That would have been my trigger to enter, and we would have been off to the races. But that didn't happen. Then we get this candle, and it rejects it, but it kind of sits on this level. It was kind of putting in support here. And then here's another candle runs up, then the next candle closes below. So at this point, it's not about VWAP anymore for me. It was about this level that got put in because we hit it 1, 2, 3 times. So now I need to wait for this to close below this level, which this candle did. But this candle never confirmed that we were breaking this support. And so I never took the trade. It doesn't make sense. If you have a strategy, you have to respect it. Because if you stop respecting your strategy, what happens is you start picking up bad habits, you start trading loosely, and pretty soon your risk management goes out the window, and you end up with a catastrophic loss. That's a tale that has been told to me too many times. So one thing that we do, and one thing that you will see me do, is manage my risk. Now, some I give more risk to others, but on a day like today, when the market is not really trading well, the volume and the volatility is low on it, then you have to respect your rules. Don't take any unnecessary risk. And I didn't give any money back today. So only made $70.17, but that's fine. Go back and look at what we did last week. What did we do last week in our account? We had a couple of days where let's see, we had a day where I made 6 cents, a day where I made $37.65, a day when I didn't take a trade at all. But then one day we made $360, $334, and then on Friday we had our biggest day, $524.68. So we almost made $1,000 last week. So you don't worry about if you have a slow day. You don't worry about that. All you do is you come back tomorrow, you employ your strategies in the market if the market is set up for you, and you trade it. It's either going to work or it's not. You can't make it work if the market is not going to allow it to work, if it has something else to do. The technical setup can be as pretty as you want it to be. Look at this one. It doesn't get any better than this. And I still was a little bit nervous, but it got bought off of this level here in the middle of nowhere. You don't know that's going to happen. So you have to be ready to react and take what the market gives you and then move on to the next trade. This is done. And if another trade doesn't present itself, you come back tomorrow. That's all it is to it. If you want to, if you're bored or you come in. Now, I've had this complaint a lot from people that have come in and then left because they said, you don't trade enough. I want to see somebody that trades all day. Well, anybody that trades all day, they're probably not going to be consistently profitable. That's going to be somebody that's trading for a hobby and just takes trades all day every time something moves. And you love it. You're excited about it. But don't think you're going to make a living trading. Because you're going to eventually give back most, if not all, of the money that you made and then some. And I'm not talking about scalping a stock that's trading in a channel. I'm talking about trading all over the place. Searching for stocks that are moving all day just because you want to take a trade. You have to have your edge, your strategy, and you let the stocks come to you. If you do things right and you have everything set up right, the trades will come to you. You don't have to go searching for anything. You don't have to go on stock tweets or Twitter to find stuff. You don't have to do anything but sit back and let the market bring it to you. And that's all part of your process. For us in the afternoon, yeah, we have the scans up, but I'm listening for breaking news. We have the news and we listen for it. That's my, afternoon process. And I'll listen for that. And then later on in the afternoon, if I have a earnings play that I need to look to get set up, then we're going to move on to that. But I'm not going out searching because it, 9 times out of 10, it's not going to end up well. All right, so let's take a look at LULU. Now, this is the one, a lot of you guys got this first opening range break. You got in around 138, and this thing ran up just over 2 points. So you were able to nail it. Now, this was a level, a daily level here. Didn't quite get there, but you should have taken profit along the way. Now, here's the pullback. We saw right the VWAP. VWAP held. The 9 was coming. Now, once the 9 crossed VWAP going up, that's a sign of strength to me. And this thing went straight. Look how far it went. If you'd have got in around, let's say 139.50, this joker went all the way up to 144.50, almost 145. I mean, and some guys traded it all day. Now my son caught the reversal. He traded this. But, I didn't trade it. I was looking at it, but I didn't. I didn't trade it. Like I said, I was really not feeling it from the first trade this morning. When I got in and I was apprehensive and I was late getting in, I really wasn't feeling it still. So, when you're like that, a lot of times it's best to just leave things alone. Even though there are trades you could take that you missed. But this was a perfect reversal and then trend continuation, off of this 20. And really, it never gave you a reason to take it off. Okay, so I went and snagged his chart on LULU to show you. He traded the reversal from up here. Perfect entry, just under the 9, just like what we like. I don't like getting in above the 9. I usually don't teach people to get in above the 9. So perfect, got in under the 9. This one opened, it gave a little resistance, and this is typical. And nice sell off. I would have taken some profit here at the 20. But he got it down here. Picked up some extra cash here, but then got it above VWAP here. Didn't really wait till it got to VWAP. Probably most likely would have been able to get some on this candle here. But like I said, every trade is not perfect. You don't know what's in your mind at that time that causes you to do things. But really nice holding out that last piece to catch it right here at the 100. So this is another trade, right from my playbook. This is exactly what we do. The targets for me and what I would do, the targets are off a little bit, but it doesn't matter about what I think. It's about what you're doing, what you set. As long as you execute your plan, you're going to make money on this. So I think he made some pretty good money on this trade. Pretty good money on this trade. So, can't complain about that. Never complain about that. So, but this is what I try to get you guys to do. To build your trade plan. Now, first you gotta establish your process. You gotta, get all of that together. Decide what strategy you're gonna trade. Learn it inside and out, forward and backwards, because every setup is gonna be a little different. You trigger and get in the stock. Each stock is gonna trade differently. None of them are gonna be identical. None of them are gonna work perfectly and immediately. So you got to get used to all of that. And then when you get in, you just execute your trade plan. That's all you're doing. You're not thinking about how much money you're making. You're not looking at your P&L. How much money you make and your targeted profit and how much money you're risking, all of that is set in your trade plan phase. Once you get into trade, your mind is all about execution. All about execution, not about money. And that's why I think younger people have a better chance at getting this, because at that point, money's not all that important to them right now, because they feel they can make it back. So once they learn how to trade right, it just comes to them. But for us that are a little bit older, we're a little bit more attached to our money, because we feel, our money making days, are running short. So we need to make it, and we need to keep up with it. And it's hard for us to detach ourselves and just trade the chart. Just trade the chart. It's either going to work or it's not. If it doesn't work, let's move on to the next trade. If it works, great. Let's move on to the next trade. We can look at all of this crap at night. That's when you're supposed to look at it. But if you sit there and pat yourself on the back in the middle of the day, you probably won't end up with it. So that's just my 2 cents on that. But that's it for me today. You guys have a great night, a great evening, and I will catch up with you guys tomorrow morning.